Well, welcome everybody. This is Travis Spengler with UFC. I appreciate your time today. We're going to do a quick 30-minute webinar on Quillix Redaction. And our goal here is that you know how you can use the tools that you already own today with Quillix to do redaction. In other words, we want you to know how to keep your documents safe and secure. I'm actually super excited today because we have a special guest with us, Rob Latham. Rob is the CEO of Prevalent Software. He is the one that designs, develops, and controls the Quillix software for us. Does such a great job. And you know, a lot of the features, workflow features and client features that you have today are because of him and his organization. So we've been doing business for quite a while with Rob Latham, over 20 years. We have a very unique and great relationship with him, and we can represent you so well because of that, and we just appreciate his time today. So Rob's going to take it over from here. We're going to show you redaction, and if you're super good with us and you stay the while, we're going to show you a little bit and explain a little bit about the next version of Quillix and the different features and capabilities it will have. So thanks for joining, and Rob, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Travis. It's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you for attending our webinar this afternoon for Quillix Redact. Quillix is a document capture platform that is web-based for client distributed access, as well as very powerful server-side processing engine for workflow capture processing, including a number of automated technologies to extract data and to speed up the processing of documents into your organization. We're excited about Quillix Redact. We have had it in the product now for about 6 months, and we're getting very good reception out in the marketplace for this product. And we want to give you just an overview. We're not going to go over a lot of information about the Quillix product proper. If you would like more information about the Quillix Capture platform, UFC would be happy to address any questions that you have and show you any other product features after this webinar. So Quillix Redact is a module that extends our existing capture module, capture software, that allows users to very quickly and easily do redaction across multiple pages in documents in a batch inside of Quillix. It really is a way to use technology to search through a group of documents, identify what information in those documents needs to be redacted based on your criteria, and then let you easily apply those redactions across those documents without having to page through each one by one and apply manual redactions. It was created with productivity in mind. We do use advanced OCR and search technologies to highlight redaction targets based on predefined and user-defined redaction criteria. A use case for this is basically anyone who needs to obscure or remove private data from documents for whatever reason. Most of the time that's for regulatory compliance, or it may just be corporate liability. It could be anything from local and state and federal governments to municipalities, education, higher education. Healthcare is a big application for this as well. And those are all examples of use cases, although I'm sure there's many more out there. Any kind of a scenario where you need to obscure data on documents in bulk. And as Travis mentioned, this is a very highly focused webinar, and we're going to get right to the point and jump in and show you exactly how Quillix Redact works. So we're going to switch over now and jump right into the Quillix web client. This is running inside of a browser. This is our Quillix web client application, and we have enabled the redaction functionality in this client. So based on the license we have available to this user a Redact tab, which gives us access to the redaction functionality for batches and documents that I have acquired. The Redact tab is made available through a combination of a redaction license, which is an add-on license for existing Quillix systems, and it's also controlled by user right. So within the Quillix user management system, you can apply that user right to groups or users as you would any other right within inside Quillix, and it will give that user access to the redaction functionality. So as you can see, I've got a batch pulled up here with a couple of pages in it, and I want to redact these. These pages have some information on them. I've got a combination of email address, phone numbers, account numbers, credit card numbers, social security numbers, and dates on these documents. And the way that Redact works is, first of all, you will set what type of criteria you want to search for in this batch for redactions. And you can limit your search to the current page, or you can do the current grouping, which grouping would be batch or document if you just want to search for redaction targets across a single batch or a single document. Or you can do a whole case, which would be all pages in the batch and any documents that are in this case. Then you would select your search options. So you've got several different options here. You can do just a free text search, in which case you would type in whatever text you want to look for, and it could be name, address, it could be anything really. I could type in my last name and it could search to remove my last name or hide my last name in any of these documents. Now the text search is going to do an exact match on the text that you entered, and it gives you a couple of options to match any word that you would find in the documents to the text that you've specified, and also a match case if you want to look for case specific. That's one option. The real power in this, though, is what we call a pattern search. So we've already built in some logic to look for some common patterns that exist out there that people generally want to redact. Social security number being number one, phone numbers, credit card numbers, email addresses, dates. Those are all very common things that people want to redact in documents. And then lastly, there's a custom pattern search, which would allow you to use pattern rules based on character and number patterns. For example, I could type in a pattern 999-999-9999. That would search for any numeric pattern that followed this with a dash in the middle. These are all sticky, so as you go from case to case in Quillix, it will remember your settings until you change them. So let's go and take a look at how this actually runs. We're going to do a pattern search. I'm going to leave selected social security number, credit card number, email address, and date. And then in my current batch, I've got a couple of pages here that we're going to search across because I selected whole case. I'll just click on search. Now what it's doing here is it's actually doing a full text OCR of these pages and coming back with any matches that it found across all the pages. So you can see my results, or my suspected targets for redaction, are listed here and broken out by page. So I've got page 1, it found 5 potential matches. Page 2, I found another 5 potential matches. Plus it also highlighted those potential matches on my document. Now what I want to do is I want to verify that each of these redaction targets is correct. And so if I click on each one, it will actually zoom it up so I can see it. And if I want to keep it, I just click the checkbox and it will allow me to keep that one. Go on to the next one, credit card number. And let's say I don't want to keep that one. Next one is email address. That one has very high confidence, as you can see, because I've got the red around it. We'll keep that one. This one, as you can see, is not a valid one. It found that symbol, thought it might have been an email address, but I don't want to keep that one. Same thing for date. state, that one looks good. We go back to social. Yeah, social looks good. So we'll keep that. And then we'll kind of go through, basically go through the batch until you find everything that matches and you just want to keep. And then what you can do is just say apply redactions. And when you apply the redactions, as you can see here, it just automatically applied those for the fields that you kept on those documents. And it will do it across the whole spectrum of the documents that you're working on. So you could work this out. You could have dozens of pages that you just go through sequentially, one at a time, one field at a time, and let the power of the OCR and search algorithms do the work for you, and then you've got redactions applied. So as we've looked at this example, I'd like to show you another real-world example from some documents from a government entity. And so I'm going to select a batch. These are actually documents that are for state assistance. This is a document from the state of Washington that is their application for assistance for food. And so I'm going to look through this document. As you can see, I've got several different fields to fill out here that are filled out. And at the top, though, I've got already imprinted on this form a Social Security number. So what we want to do is we want to obscure that Social Security number. So I'm just looking for Social Security number in this case. I'll just select pattern search, Social Security number, click on search. Now there's quite a bit of text in this document. So the process will take a little bit longer because there's so much text for it to go through to look for to find a Social Security number pattern. But it will come back and give us the redaction targets that it finds as it goes through and processes these pages. Okay, so now as you can see, it found 2 targets. So let's go in for a closer look. Page 1, Social Security number, that looks good. I will accept that. Click on page 2, Social Security number, looks good. I will accept that. And again, if I had 100 pages, I could just keep going through this to verify that they're all good. And when I'm done, click on Apply Redactions. And there you go. And then from this point, your documents being fully redacted can continue through the process. And whatever process you have created in Quillix for other document processing, and eventually make its way into your repository. So, all right, well that's pretty much the quick demo, Travis. I will send it back to you.
Cool. If you guys have any questions or you want to learn more about Quillix Redaction, please send me your emails or call me, and we'd love to just handle those concerns, questions, or interests in the product. At this point, I want Rob Latham to share a little bit more of what Quillix 5, the very next product that he's coming out with, is going to include. It's going to include some neat things and some things that I think you're going to find quite an interest in. And so, Rob, I'm actually going to pass it back to you, and you can share with our customers here what Quillix 5 is going to look like.
Thank you, Travis. We are very excited about Quillix 5. It is our next generation document capture flagship product for our company. We've put quite a bit of work into it, starting with the web client. So we have completely rewritten the web client, and the big thing for us in this is that our new Quillix 5 web client is completely browser agnostic. So starting with Quillix 5, we will be supporting all major browsers, including Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, the new Edge browser in Windows 10, and Safari on iOS platforms. We also will be supporting 90% functionality out of the box with Quillix 5 on both Windows platforms and Mac OS platforms. The one feature that we will not support on Quillix 5 out of the box on Mac platforms will be scanning. That's just a scanner driver and interface issue. We do plan to support scanning on Mac platforms, hopefully with the next release after Quillix 5, whatever release that ends up being. But roughly 6 to 9 months after we release Quillix 5, we are planning to also have scanning support on Mac platforms. So that's big news for us, and I'm not giving you a lot of detail in the new web client. In addition to it being brand new and fully browser agnostic, we've also added some design improvements that we believe our customers will be very excited about, but we're waiting to reveal those until we do our technology previews in about another month. But we're very excited about all the new functionality that we're bringing with our new web client. In addition to the web client, we've also moved our server platform into full 64-bit, and we've also created 64-bit versions of most of our QSX modules. Now, the few that aren't 64-bit are that way because of some of the third-party technology that they use is not available in 64-bit or something like that. So the 32-bit versions will still work, but they won't be quite as fast as our 64-bit versions. We also are providing in-process and out-of-process DLL support for QSX modules with our 64-bit platform. And what we're seeing in our testing in our labs is about a 30% performance improvement just because of the nature of 64-bit and some of the things that we gain there in terms of access to memory and efficiencies internally. We're getting some better performance on the server. For people who process a lot of volume, that could be a really big thing. We've also made some improvements to the server manager, mostly UI improvements. We also have made some process map improvements that we think will help help our customers be more efficient and creative with how they build their process maps. And then lastly, we have made Quillix 5 as our next-gen platform. So there's a lot of things that we've done under the covers to take us and our customers, in the next 10 years down the road in capture processing, including an architecture that fully supports the cloud and numerous workflow improvements that we plan to leverage in the next several major releases of the product. So the timeline for Quillix 5, and I know this is the big drum roll, starting next month, we're going to do technology previews. So our technology previews are the introductions of Quillix 5 to our constituents and to our customer base. So if you're interested in participating in a technology preview of Quillix 5, please contact UFC, and they can get you scheduled for one of those. And we plan to start scheduled upgrades and new customer availability right at the end of November. So we're getting very close, and we're very excited about it. Thank you, Travis.
Very good. So this we're coming towards the end of our webinar, but I do want to share a couple things with you. I want you to stay very well alert. Make sure you're watching your newsletters, your emails about Quillix 5 and the different features and advantages and benefits that you're going to receive out of it, because we're going to communicate as much as we possibly can to you, because we want this product to stay alive and active in your organizations, and we know it can do a lot for you, and probably even more than what you realize it's doing for you today. So just make sure you're keeping track of those newsletters and our different social posts to stay active and alert of what we're doing. The next webinar that we'll be hosting in October will be on Email Gateway. A lot of our clients use Email Gateway, and this product has transformed greatly over the last year and a half. We continue to add a lot of upgrades to it, a lot of new features and a lot of new things, and I think this webinar will be a great way for us to show the product to you, describe some of those features in detail, so that you're taking full advantage of, once again, that product that most of you own today. So please plan on joining that webinar, and you'll see communication from us here in the next week or two on when that will be. So Rob Latham, thanks again for joining us. I hope you folks enjoyed this webinar. You will see a copy of this on our social pages, and we'll also include some links in our communications to you over here in the next couple of weeks. So I appreciate everybody's time. Have a great day.